It remains to be seen if Henry Cavill will again be given the chance to portray Superman, as his Zack Snyder's Justice League timeline has come to an unceremonious end. With that being said, even if there isn't a Man of Steel 2 or Justice League 2, fans still have 3 films to enjoy his time as the character. Fortunately for Cavill and the fans, his Clark Kent Superman was given some wonderful lines to spout, even right out the gate. Furthermore, Man of Steel is just a quotable film across the board. Kevin Costner's Jonathan Kent gets a couple of solid fatherly lines, while Michael Shannon's General Zod growls at Superman about how now, I have no people. But Superman himself gets the best lines, and that extends to Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice and Justice League. I grew up in Kansas, General. I'm about as American as it gets. An all-American hero. Superman is a larger-than-life figure raised in a smaller-than-average town in Kansas. That gives him an all-American relatable nature that makes the character feel as accessible as a beat cop. When Superman is having his big conversation with General Stanwyck, in reality the Martian Manhunter, as revealed in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he draws a line in the sand. He acknowledges that Hess technically an extraterrestrial with an insurmountable amount of power, but Hess also just a small-town guy who wants to do some good for the world. It's not an S. On my world, it means hope. The symbol meaning the key to Superman's appeal, outside his altruism, is the hope he both inspires and has himself. Superman is about leading by example, with the hopes that the everyman and everywoman will take note and follow suit, even if they couldn't exactly stop doomsday. In most of the franchise's history, whether it's comics or film, the S on his chest doesn't mean hope. Instead, it's his family's symbol from back on Krypton, but Man of Steel's explanation works well for the movie. Glad to be here, Lois. Lois means the most. Man of Steel ends on a soft, sweet note, which is a thankful reprieve after a loud, memorably action-packed third-act battle Superman and General Zod. Lois Lane confidently introduces herself to Clark Kent on his first day at the Daily Planet with "Hi Lois Lane. Welcome to the planet." To which Kent simply replies, "Glad to be here, Lois." Ending Man of Steel with such a small, hopeful moment after a particularly devastating action sequence was brilliant on the filmmaker's part and inspires the hope for a brighter sequel that may never come. Civil liberties are being trampled on in your city, good people living in fear. An icon for good. Batman v Superman. Dawn of Justice is a movie that takes itself very seriously. Now that it's been revealed what Snyder was setting up, that sort of tone makes more sense, but it still proved too dour an experience for most who saw it opening weekend. It experienced a significantly steep second weekend drop. Those who were surprised by the film's self-seriousness must have missed the trailer, because even the teaser, which is arguably better than the movie, was loaded with heavy lines such as Clark Kent's to Bruce Wayne at Lex Luthor's party. Civil liberties are being trampled on in your city, good people living in fear. Snyder's film announced itself as a hefty undertaking right out of the gate. He thinks Hess above the law. Views on Batman. Just after the line on trampled civil liberties, Clark Kent adjusts his criticism of Bruce Wayne and the other affluent residents of Gotham to Batman himself, with "he thinks Hess above the law." The sharp, terse dialogue exchange between Bruce and Clark is one of Batman v Superman's better scenes. Unfortunately, they didn't get much of a chance to build upon their rivalry and ultimate amicability in Justice League. This is just one factor that makes Snyder's continuation of JL1 unreleased movie viewers want to see. Stay down. If I wanted it, y'd be dead already. The most powerful being Redditors believe BVS had an amazing concept but lacked execution. Time has already been somewhat kind to the film. At the very least it has a stellar opening scene, but its dour tone very much remains in place. In truth, the film's tone is mostly what it should be. It doesn't rigidly stick to the two title characters' personalities, but it comes close enough. For instance, Batman is the one who utters "Do you bleed?" It's an aggressive line, whereas Superman's is one of pacifism, just harshly delivered. Stay down. If I wanted it, you'd be dead already. Time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy. A vicious line alongside the dinner party and, naturally, the final fight, one of BVS most trailer-worthy scenes, came in the form of the Batmobile slamming into Superman and skittering into a building. With it came a few more terse, tensely delivered pseudo-threats. Perhaps the best of them is Superman's strong suggestion that whoever is under the cape and cowl hangs it in their closet permanently. In Soup's words, time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy. It's a memorable series of sentences, but pretty harsh coming from the Man of Steel. Perry, when you assign a story, you're making a choice about who matters. And wo's worth it. Clark at work in Batman v Superman. Dawn of Justice, audiences get their biggest taste of Clark Kent at his place of work. With that man in that setting, there's practically a guarantee of an eventual ethics deliberation. In terms of DCEU quotes that nail Superman's truth, justice, and the American way side, it's one of his to Perry in BVS. Namely, Perry, when you assign a story, you're making a choice about who matters. And wo's worth it. No one stays good in this world. A perfect line for Snyder's vision Man of Steel finds Superman struggling to find his place, while Batman v Superman. Dawn of Justice has him recognizing his place, yet still struggling with it. Hess positioned in the narrative as having a possible transition to the dark side, but he ultimately goes the true-to-form path of sacrifice. There's been the accusation that director Snyder never understood Superman the way he got Batman or the Watchmen, even King Leonidas of the 300. Hess more complex and conflicted in Snyder's 3 movies than he is as a straightforward do-gooder in the earliest comics. No one stays good in this world is perhaps indicative of this because memorable as the line is, it's also far more two-faced than Superman. A man I knew used to say that hope was like your car keys. Easy to lose, but if you dig around, it's usually close by. The ultimate symbol of hope, not much good can be said of Justice League's theatrical version. Every scene extracted by Joss Whedon made the film work better, and some of what he added was viewed as unsettling and unfitting. With that being said, there's a nice full-circle finality to one of Whedon's soup lines that opened the film, as Hess being recorded on a cell phone. As he talks to 2 boys, they ask him how many people Hess saved, and then whether the S on his chest actually means hope. He responds in the affirmative and adds, about his father, a man I knew used to say that hope was like your car keys. Easy to lose, but if you dig around, it's